Greetings and welcome to my review of EIZO's new beautiful, almost frameless 4K UHD monitor, the FlexScan EV2785, a 27-inch screen with a whopping pixel density of 163 pixels per inch. This model more or less is the successor to the EV2780 1440p screen that I personally use for my content creation. I'm sure you're already familiar with EIZO and know by now the pricing is quite hefty on these Japanese monitors, no exception with this one. It comes in at about $1,300 US. Now that's a price. But of course we can expect top-notch quality by EIZO, and this specific model is backed up by a long 5-year warranty. But is the price tag of $1,300 really justified here? And also, is the UHD resolution even that good for day-to-day use? Let's find out. One of the true highlights to many might be the almost frameless design. These slim bezels sure do look amazing, no doubt. EIZO has also done some improvements on this stand, which now looks and works better than on any previous model I've tested. At a size of just 27 inches and a screen resolution of 2160p UHD, we are getting a very high pixel density, making up for a super sharp image. This of course is an IPS panel with a 10-bit LUT, 5 millisecond response time, and pretty usual for UHD displays for now, a refresh rate of 60 Hz. As for video inputs, we are getting 2 HDMI, 1 DisplayPort, and one of those new USB Type-C connections, which would allow powering everything up with just that one single cable. With just one single connection, you get both video and audio transmission, data can be transferred, and up to 60 watts of power can be supplied. No AC adapters required, since the power unit is internal. I'm glad an HDMI DisplayPort as well as a USB Type-C cable is already included. On the stand there's that removable cable holder, a nice little extra. However, included in the accessories also is a cable cover, which does look a bit nicer in my opinion. On the left side of the monitor we are getting 2 USB 3.1 Gen 1 downstream ports, along with a 3.5mm headphone jack. And yes, as seen on previous models, this EV2785 does feature built-in speakers as well. This time around they're in the front, well implemented into the frame. However, they pretty much suck, as one would expect. But for office work, all you need. Besides accurate color reproduction, one of the factors people tend to look for are ergonomics. And this stand does support tilting, swivel, pivot, as well as height adjustment. Basically everything you'd expect. We are even getting a carrying handle on the monitor itself. A feature that should not be taken for granted is Auto Eco View. It's basically automatic brightness control, which detects ambient brightness and adapts the screen's brightness to that, which besides the screen being flicker-free, reduces eye fatigue. But what about the quality of the panel? I'm very happy to report that this EV2785, just like its predecessors, offers amazing color reproduction, great viewing angles, and a stunningly sharp image. The resolution of 3840 by 2160 pixels looks outstanding. 4K content looks perfect on it. And yes, I did try out some game titles and man, do those look amazing. Given the high pixel count though, a pretty powerful graphics card is needed when planning to play games and drive a beast of a monitor like this one. However, the UHD experience is not all perfect. Now, this is not an issue with the monitor itself, but UHD support in general in operating systems such as Windows. 2160p at 27 inches leads to tiny text, we know that. So we have to rely on scaling in Windows to make those icons and all the text bigger. Unfortunately, there are still lots of applications out there that do not scale well or at all. This leads to a mixed experience. A portion scales well, some apps do more or less, but turn out all blurry, and then there also are certain programs and websites that do not scale at all, meaning they remain tiny. While there are workarounds for some of these issues, it's a hassle. But again, this has nothing to do with the monitor itself. It's just a general issue with UHD in Windows. While for content consumption such as movies and games, it all looks phenomenal, for content creation I'd rather stick to a native 1440p 27-inch screen, where I wouldn't have to rely on display scaling. With the touch-sensitive buttons in the front, navigation works brilliantly in the slightly outdated looking but very functional functional OSD menu. Also turns out this is a quite efficient monitor, just 27 watts at a more realistic brightness level. So at the end of the day, the EV2785 truly impressed me with its outstanding color accuracy, no banding or clipping going on in the gradient tests, a wide array of features, including good ergonomics, and yeah, last but not least, 2160p makes up for a super sharp image. While the experience may not be the absolute best on the software side of things, EIZO seems to have done everything right with their latest monitor offering, which is why I can definitely recommend this EIZO FlexScan EV2785 if you're willing to pay that much for a monitor. And despite that hefty price tag, I want to give this one my gold award nonetheless, because the quality is truly outstanding. But it sure is a product of pure luxury. And as always, thanks for watching.